dedicated to each and every one of you who appreciate a great glass of wine. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Let's raise a glass to the beginning of another week. It's time to unscrew, uncork, or saber a bottle. And let's begin exploring the wine glass. Today, I sit down with my buddy Nick Berube, aka WineCommGuy. During our conversation, we share a bit of knowledge about an old California AVA that just doesn't have the recognition that its neighboring AVA, Napa, has, yet. We were privileged to have received samples from 5 of the 12 wineries in the AVA. As you listen, you will learn that Suisun Valley AVA is one that should be on your radar.
Wine.
Hey everybody, I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program, someday service, champagne specialist, and WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wine Glass on all the socials as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to swipe, subscribe, rate, and review. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass.
But I'm so excited to be here to talk about Sassoon Valley.
Yes, Sassoon Valley. I was introduced to it a little while ago when we did Wine-for-Bet Street. We did Petite P is for Petite Syrah.
Oh, nice.
And,
Not D for Derif?
No, but you know what? Holding that one in the pocket just in case we can't come up with another D.
Right, exactly. Now, have you visited the valley?
I have not. Although, from what I have learned, I have driven through it multiple times.
You probably have. It's actually really beautiful. The hospitality there is really second to none. For me, it's like going back in time to what I imagine Napa would have been or Sonoma would have been before, well, my time drinking.
Yeah, right. So we had Salinas and Brink on for the Petite Syrah episode, and that is exactly what
awesome.
they said. Like, they're just, a few decades maybe behind where Napa Valley was. But it does look beautiful, and we have a tasting kit that we received, but I mean, that looks pretty darn pretty to me.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great place. And it's so close to Napa, so I love to hop over there because it's, it focuses on Petite Syrah. We have Napa is king of cab, and they have a similar climate, that Mediterranean climate, and they have owned Petite Syrah, and I love that about them.
Yes, they have, and they even have a sign that, the back end of Napa or something. They have a good sense of humor in Sassoon Valley. They have that sign, and I think that's pretty clever. But yeah, so it is actually relatively small of an AVA. It's really actually only 8 by 3 miles. So that is.
But it's been an AVA for so long, since the early 80s. So I mean, the fact that it's just really becoming discovered is great. Yep, it's taken a while, but they've earned their place.
Yes. In fact, only 1 year after Napa Valley got their AVA did
exactly.
Valley. They've been around for a long time, and I think that the big thing was back when they first started, it was more a type of like bulk wine, and now. In the last decade or so, decade and a half, they really have focused in on Petite Syrah because that's what that loam soil, Petite Syrah loves that. And they just really have like, all right, we're done with this bulk stuff. We're going to prove that we are a high quality AVA. And they are truly killing it. They really are making a great
they show. Are. And, even though we are going to just be tasting Petite Syrah, the cool thing about Sassoon Valley is they produce so much more. Like I said, it's so similar to Napa Valley that Salinas actually makes Pinot Noir. They make a white Pinot Noir. So as you're getting closer to the south side, you're able, that diurnal shift, you're able to get, Pinot Noir ripe, and it's great. And then a little further north, you get the Zins, the Cabs, the Petite Syrah. So, I mean, really, they are producing a wide swath of things.
They are. And that white Pinot Noir is phenomenal. And I have to give a shout out to Amber and Dave of Wine Travel Leads because they are the ones who introduced me to not Pinot, that was a birthday present from Amber for me. So it is delicious. And it really is. It's a wonderful valley. I do need to actually visit it, versus just driving through it. And it's like a quaint little, it comes across as a quaint little thing. There's only 12 wineries that are in that AVA.
Very small.
Yeah.
Very small. But again, they're like these family owned, they're farmers. When you go tasting, most likely you're going to meet the winemaker.
Right.
How many places can you go now where that actually happens?
That is true. And definitely not so true over in, that other side of Sassoon Valley.
Well, everybody starts someplace. And, again, the feel, that down-home feel, that small, farmer feel that Sassoon Valley has, it's great. Every time I can jump over there and visit Amber and David, absolutely will, because every time I want them to take me to another winery.
Right, absolutely.
So I get all 12.
And I do actually see that These Are Family Vineyard is joining us tonight. They are watching, and their wines are spectacular. Also, I've tasted a few of their wines. Thanks to Amber, I've tasted a few of their wines, and they're beautiful. And in fact, I have not had a wine that I've disliked from Sassoon Valley. And
no, I can't think of a single one. And I've actually visited Beezer, and I can't wait to go back because just the experience here was incredible.
Yeah, I heard the hospitality is just spectacular, and not just for them, just like you said, across that whole AVA. It's truly, they're not only just focusing in on high quality wines, but they're also focusing in on high quality customer service and customer experiences.
It's so important. And, it's laid back for high quality wine and have a good time without the fear of, is somebody going to be judging how you're tasting, or, are you tasting this or that? So next time you come up, we'll have to go over and visit.
Absolutely. You won't have to twist my arm too hard for that at all. But a little bit more before we actually taste
Sure.
a little fun facts. You know how geeky I am, right?
Of course.
We cannot talk wine without doing a little bit of geekdom. So Sassoon Valley is actually Winkler scale 3. So they get about 3,500 degree days.
Growing days, yep.
Yeah, and so it's a region 3, so it's kind of right there, smack dab in the middle. It's cool because of the coastal climate, but like you mentioned, that diurnal shift, they can get pretty warm, but they cool down. But right smack dab in the center. So, like you were saying, so many varieties can actually grow well there.
It's interesting because it's right on the other side of the Vaca Mountains from Napa. But then you have that bay, and I tell you, every afternoon, it doesn't matter, it could be the hottest day, this cool breeze just kind of blows in over the valley and just cools everything down, and it's perfect growing conditions.
Yeah. And let's not forget about their soil, right? Their soil is
100%
loam soil, and anybody who gardens knows that if you're going to go out and buy top-notch topsoil with all of the perfect balance of nutrients, it's a loam soil, right? So, and it's there naturally. So, there, it's that combination.
Yeah, they didn't buy it.
Yeah, they didn't go to Home Depot. Go to Home Depot and go purchase some bags and start throwing it all over.
No.
Silt clay, all in that perfect, 40-40-20 percentage just is perfect. And like you said, that's what's allowing so many great varieties to flourish. you know?
So, Petite Syrah, it's funny because as we know, it's Darif. That's the official name, although the TTB will accept either. Most people think, or a lot of people might think, that it's just a small version of Syrah.
Right.
And it's not. I'm sure when I first started studying wine, I probably thought the same thing. I probably thought I was cool and being like, it's just small Syrah.
Right.
But no, it's baby Syrah. But no, it's its own grape. It's the cross of Syrah. And hold on, do you know the other one?
No, I do, but I don't.
I know I'm blank right now, but it really mimics some of the characteristics that we love of Syrah. That pepperiness, that chocolate, that plum, the blueberry. But I mean, it really is its own. I mean, if you tasted Syrah and a Petite Syrah, you could tell the difference.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I love seeing Petite Syrah on its own because it's very often just in a blend,
Yeah.
because a little bit goes a very long way, it's a deep, dark, great, right?
Yep. Medium acid, high tannin, high color, high alcohol. It's high across the board. But you know what? If it's made correctly, it is, dare I say, I hate using this word, but it's feminine and it's just beautiful and elegant.
Yes, it is. It is. And with that, look, we received these samples, these
I've already poured mine.
2 ounce, 3 ounce? I don't know how much this is. 2 ounce? Is it really? Ooh, I'm gonna have a good time. All right, we're gonna have a good time. So we received this cute little kit that we got. Welcome to Sassoon Valley. It's got the map on it.
Yep.
And then we have 5 tastings. And since Nick and I are very aware that, it's real fun to drink while you're on camera. It's not so fun to watch people drink while they're on camera. So we're only going to do 2 wines today, and then we are going to come back at a different time and we will taste the other 3. So,
and you know what? I really think we need to schedule the time, the date, see if we can get our followers to purchase those wines.
Absolutely.
Step along with us.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We could do a live, dare I say, Zoom? No, Zoom! But yeah, so are you ready to taste the first one?
I am.
Number 1, which I will share my stupidity with everybody, because if you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at anybody else. And as Nick knows, I like laughing at a lot of people.
It's true.
I was like, oh look, it's number 1.
Oh, I want to say, Mike Braun, thank you. Peloursin Noir. You are correct.
Yes. Yes. So number 1, and on the back, if I had actually turned the jar, it actually has the information for us. So the first wine we are going to taste is actually Sassoon. And this right here, I think, has a lot to say about how incredible the valley is for the fruit. We all know that Camus, is high profile, and it is a highly prestigious wine. And I don't think they would go somewhere where fruit is not excellent.
No, the Wagner family knows good fruit. They have their home in Rutherford, and as you know, all good cab has Rutherford dust in it. So they have been farming across California for years, for decades. And so for them to come to the Suisun Valley and recognize the potential there, especially at Petite Syrah, is incredible. So they are owning cab over in Napa. Now they're taking on Petite Syrah.
And so, as you had said, the family has been actually in the wine business since the 1850s, so they know what's going on. And they've been
A little while.
yeah, a little while. And Camus itself has been in production for 45 years. So for almost 5 decades, they've been sticking to their cab, and it says a lot that they're moving out to, to here for the petite. But you know how I said it, a little bit goes a long way when you are.
I mean, it's ink. This is completely inky. I love it.
Yeah. Oh,
that right. That nose is just incredible. Just so many dark fruits. That black pepper, a little floral. I mean, it's not shy.
No. That it's carrying those three things: the dark fruit, the floral, and that hint of the pepper. And it's not, for people who love Zinfandel, it's a different, to my palate, it's a different pepper than than that Zinfandel. Because I think when you stick your nose in a Zin, it's like, oh, this is Zin. But this is all three characteristics of what I would say, if I was doing a blind tasting, would cause me to say it's a Petite Syrah.
Yeah. Sally?
Yes. Slancha.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, it's Friday.
I'm sorry, like, people are having to watch me do this, and I just wanted to keep it in my mouth because it was so good.
Yes. Oh, and Salinas Winery is here. So, hi, guys. We were talking.
Hi, Salinas. Wine Travel Eats is with us. We are on the 2018 Grand Jarif Petite Syrah from Camus Sassoon.
And I do have to say, I kind of like that they call it Jarif.
Me too.
I like it. I like that they're going back to the, to that kind of original name, that, the historical aspect of it.
Exactly. So all of those aromas really just kind of transferred over to the palate for me. Getting plum, there's even like a hint of a red fruit. Although it's tannic, it's so well balanced, it's almost velvety in my mouth. Like,
it's got a velvet finish to it. And I get a lot of the dark fruit. I can see where you're saying there's a bit of red in there. As you swish that around a bit and let your tongue, figure out what's in there. Yeah.
Like crunchy plum. Wow. There's the oak profile on it. It's just, you're getting it on the back end, and it's just very, very nice. It's super well integrated wine.
Yes, it does not. The oak, it's there. It's integrated. It's not like an oak in your face.
Wine, Petite Syrah being a big grape. It's not bombastic. It's not hitting me in the face. But this is definitely something that I could enjoy a glass on its own, or I could pair it with, a lamb burger or, a mole dish.
I'll take your word for the lamb burger. But yes. I really, really good. And the finish, it lingers, and it actually kind of fades away. Like, it doesn't just drop off. You know what I mean?
Nope, at all. It just it stays with you. It's like, oh, hey, I'm still here after 30, 60 seconds. I mean, I'm still tasting fruit. I'm not just tasting alcohol, or I'm not tasting oak, or this is just fruit just following through.
Right, absolutely. And the like you were mentioning, the tannins, they're in there. But the interesting thing is, it's in the mid palate. That tannins right there in the mid palate, because when you when you actually do swallow and wait for the finish, it is a softer finish. It's actually a very nice, like you had mentioned, velvety, but it's a softer finish than what you kind of expect it to be, and in a nice way, I'm saying,
Definitely. And I would say that there's enough acid there. It's so balanced that it makes me want another sip.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. So that was the Camus. Okay, that was the Camus, and it is a 2018 Grand Dury. And I don't know if you cheated. Not that it's cheating because I didn't tell you not to do it, but alcohol. What do you think that alcohol is?
Knowing the grape, knowing that it's going to be, I'm going to say it's in the high 14s.
Well, they're claiming 15.
Okay.
So
yeah, but you know what? It's not an alcoholic wine. It doesn't taste like it.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's exactly why I was asking it. But then I was like, we kind of know what Petite Syrah gives us from the region, you know. But yeah. So they're claiming 15. So we could be looking at 16 here. And it doesn't taste that way at all. And
no, not at all. It's not that, you know, you get some, we'll say brands or some wineries that, you know, have that 15.1, 15.2, and it burns all the way down.
Right.
I could honestly say this would be lower 14 if I didn't know what the grape was. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So our second wine, our number 2, and it is, and I'm hoping I'm saying it correctly, Mangels?
Mangles?
Mangles? Okay. Mangles.
That's what we're going to go with.
Okay, we'll go with that. Mangles Vineyard, and this is the 2018 Reserve Petite Syrah. And this retails, the Camus one, number 1 retails for $60. And this retails for $35. Okay. And these guys have quite a little bit of history.
The history behind this winery is just incredible. I mean, we're going way back. We're going, pre-prohibition, and, you know, post-prohibition, the story just like snowballs.
Yes. In fact, so far back.
Thank you, Salinas.
They are bonded winery number 42.
42, right. That's OG winery.
You got it. Absolutely. Yeah. So they have been around for a long time, and the history actually dates back to when Louis Mangler, the family came from Germany
to New York.
To New York, and then they just bolted wisely to the west
to California.
coast.
But they went through the Panama Canal. So, I mean, that was, you know, by way of the canal.
By way of the canal, right? So that is so awesome itself. And he also learned how to be a cooper. He was trained as a cooper.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, the story behind this, it's great.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and you can't even, you know, you talk about throwing yourself into the passion of wine and winemaking, and you hear people talk about, you know, from vine to bottle. Well, I mean, he's even got the cooperage in it. Hitting it from all angles. Absolutely.
Right.
All angles, you know. So, yeah.
But
and, you know.
Coming to present day.
What?
Coming to present day, one of the things that I find awesome, female winemaker.
Yes.
So, like, huge shout out to all the female winemakers of the world. And then also, she went to Fresno State. Got her degree in enology.
Hold on.
So, you know, shout out to Fresno as well.
Yes. I was like, is he gonna know that little tidbit?
Oh yeah, I know that. I know the tidbit.
Oh yeah. So go Bulldogs. Yes. All right. So what are we getting in here, Nick? Again, it just coats the glass.
Yeah, definitely.
Glass, and you can just see the ink. It, you know, in the glass, the ink.
Floral on this
than
I did on the Camus.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit
But it's a
herb,
floral. What?
like a violet.
Okay. Because the Camus to me was very like lavendery, like,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, I'll go with violet.
The purple flowers.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Again with the dark fruit,
Yep. That plum.
absolutely.
I mean, I think that's just a telltale sign. I think that came over from, the Syrah parent. A little bit of like a cocoa powder.
Yes.
Mm. All right, well, I'm going to sip on this. Again, I'm blown away by how elegant these wines are, how soft they are. Not soft like flabby, soft like just structured and silky. That palate just kind of envelops the mouth. It's great.
Perfectly integrated. I get a little bit more tannin on this one
Mm-hmm.
than it on the Camus. Still well integrated, still and onto the palate is still that dark fruit. Plum is just,
Oh, it's there. And again, I'm getting a lot more cocoa on this one than I did the other.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And it's and I actually like this, so the people are offset by this. For me, the cocoa is like a cocoa powder. It's not, it's not like you're biting into a piece of chocolate. It's
No.
when you make hot cocoa, that that's what it is like to me. That nice, fresh, powder that is cocoa
Yeah.
in its essence.
It's like a good like premium powder, not like
No,
like Nestle.
no. No, I love this, but no, like high quality powder, but it's more powder chocolate to me than biting into a milk chocolate or
And I would say the plum is on the riper side, whereas I said crunchy plum with the Camus. This is like that dark black plum, and it's great. I'm like, wow.
And Amber is saying savory cocoa.
Agreed.
Yes. And
And
again,
I don't know what the alcohol is, but you're not getting that burn either.
no, this one is claiming 14.5.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The acid's there. Oak is framing the wine. It's not taking over. You still get some of those that toasted oak kind of feel. Wow.
They both are beautiful. And now I'm upset we only chose to do two right now. But
Right. So again, for anybody who's just joining us, we are tasting the Mangles Vineyard 2018 Reserve Petite Syrah from the Sassoon Valley.
the Sassoon Valley, and it retails for a mere $35.
That's a steal.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it is, like you said, it's a 2018. So let's talk a little bit about when you think prime drinking window would be.
Gosh, for both, I'd say age. I mean, they can age, with the fruit component, the acid, the tannin that they both have. They're not overly tannic, so I'd say probably the next 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll just continue to evolve like the fruit, but right now, I want to break into a bottle of either one of these.
Yeah, they are definitely drinkable now, and sitting back and relaxing, watching the Olympics, people.
Right. So we have a question: where is the Suisun Valley? So the Suisun Valley is just east of Napa Valley, east of the Vaca Mountains. So it sits within this coastal range. So if you are coming from, say, San Francisco, it's about an hour away if you know where Fairfield is. Great hidden wine country that's really coming. I mean, it's been around forever, since early 80s, excuse me. But yeah, this is a valley that you need to explore.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And for those who are just joining, additionally, we're looking at a very small AVA, just 8 miles by 3 miles. So it's tiny. And they have about 15,000 acres total in the Sassoon Valley, but only 3,000 are under vine. And those vines they are being tended to with critical care. They are, they are watching these vines and doing what is spectacular, what is great for these vines to create this end product that is spectacular.
Absolutely. And, as I mentioned before, for anybody who's never visited, but, maybe Sonoma County, Napa Valley, it is like that in the 60s, I imagine. I was not there. I was born in 80. But, it's, you're going to go, you're going to meet the family that owns the winery, you're going to meet the winemaker.
Absolutely. And for those who want to find out more about Sassoon Valley, they are here on Instagram. They're under Visit Sassoon Valley. And we were tasting Camus Cab and Mangel's Vineyard. So they're Vineyards, yes, with an S.
Yep.
They are both here on Instagram. So check out their profiles to find out more. And then Nick and I will be back.
Yes, we will.
We'll do another live event. We'll be back to taste the other wines that were sent to us from this. And those wines are Ten Brink, which I've already tasted Ten Brink. And out of this world. So I cannot wait to taste that. And then Sassoon Creek and Woodin Valley will be the other 2 wines that we are tasting.
Perfect. And so you guys know, it's at Visit Sassoon Valley here on Instagram. Camus is at Camus Cab, and Mangles is at Mangles Vineyards. I would definitely suggest giving them a follow.
Yes, absolutely. And if you have any questions, just shoot Nick or myself the question, and if we can't answer it, we have the connection.
We know who will. Yeah.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Dracaena Wines loves to give back. There are so many fur babies that deserve to find their forever home. We would love to be able to help as many as possible. If you are part of a nonprofit organization or know of a nonprofit organization that would like to hold a fundraiser, please contact us at contact@dracaenawines.com or visit our website, dracaenawines.com, to fill out the form. How does the fundraiser work? It is super simple and costs your group absolutely nothing. Together, we will choose a month that your group will be sponsored. During the month, you promote the fundraiser just like any other event you'd hold. At the end of the month, we will donate 20% of the sales to your organization. The donations will be made in the name of each individual who purchased the wine so that you know exactly who helped the animals. Our goal is to raise as much funds as we possibly can and to help as many animals as possible. So please help us help as many fur babies as we possibly can.
To finish off these wines and to really talk about the Sassoon Valley with you.
Yes, and oh my God, that hat.
So, Sassoon Creek.
Wow.
If a winery has a really cool hat, I'm going home with the hat.
And I gotta go, that is a really, really cool hat. I love the trucker hat, and when it's distressed, it's
even better.
Jam. It's the jam. It is the jam. Absolutely. And tonight we are actually drinking Ten Brink Vineyards. And I have had some previous experience with Ten Brink because they were nice enough, along with Lisa Howard of Salinas, who came on to Wine for Bet Street to talk about Petite Syrah.
Awesome.
So I had the privilege of speaking with them. And then we are going to try the Sassoon Creek Winery.
Sassoon Creek.
Yes.
And then let's see, the Lanza family, the Woodin Valley Winery.
Right, Woodland Valley Winery, and again, all Petite Syrah. So let's like you said, do a little recap of fun facts of the Sassoon Valley.
Absolutely. So, I know that you live in the Central Valley and also on the East Coast. I live in the Napa Valley. So Sassoon is definitely my neighbor. It's just east of us, just east of the Vaca Range. It sits right off of the San Pablo and the Sassoon Bay. It's about 8 miles long, 3 miles wide at the widest point. So it's actually a really small valley, but there's a lot happening there.
There is. And one of the things that I love about the Sassoon Valley's name is where that name came from. So it actually is a Native American name that actually means where the west winds blow, or where the west winds come from. And
Yep.
so that is what it is. And those winds that are in the Sassoon Valley, they play such a major, major role. Oh, yeah.
I just want to show the Sassoon Valley and how beautiful it is.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, those western winds, they really affect the microclimates there. The lower, what they call the lower valley, really gets influenced by those winds, especially in the late afternoon. Really cools down during the night and allows for such a wide range of grapes to be grown there.
Right, absolutely. And that's the interesting thing is there are so many varieties that do grow well in the Sassoon, but we are focusing in on one special grape today.
Just one.
Just one.
The Petite Syrah or Durif.
Durif. Yes, yes, yes. And we know that the Sassoon Valley actually became an AVA. Like, people are just learning about it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Right?
I mean, 1982, it became an AVA, and yet now it's just really kind of coming into its own.
Absolutely. So, and good for them, because, I think there's when you start studying wine, you learn of all of these wine regions that are so popular now, and people are dying to get there. And they weren't known back because at some point they were more about bulk wine and just getting that wine out there. And then somewhere along the line, some brilliant people that are farmers first, farmers
Exactly.
foremost, were like, wait a second, let's stop with this bulk and let's prove what we can do here, and let's show everybody what a great AVA or what a great region we are. And that is exactly what Sassoon is doing right now.
I'd agree. And it's funny because you posted a photo of a sign that they have actually that kind of plays off of the Napa Valley sign that, the Napa Valley's backside's taking shape, and it's like the home to Petite Syrah, which is great because, I mean, we, as cab is king in Napa Valley. So Sassoon has really kind of honed in on what's growing really great there, and they are blowing it out of the park.
They are. They absolutely are. And I'm going to quiz you. You because last time we both blanked, and a very helpful viewer helped us out.
It was my friend Mike. Yep.
Do you remember what Durif is actually a cross between?
Yes, ma'am. It is a cross of Syrah and California Noir. And it was crossed from Francois Durif.
Very good. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And
once I learn it, it's going to stick.
It's going to stick. Yep. And the reason why he created this cross, because we have two different types of crosses that occur in our little wine world. Some are natural, like Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc, to make that Cabernet Sauvignon. That was a natural crossing. And then we have man-made crossings. And Petite Syrah is a man-made crossing by Durif. And it was actually because there was so much powdery mildew that he was trying to come up with a grape variety that was not as susceptible to that. And he did a good job.
He did a great job. But it's funny because, people saw the vines, they saw the grapes, and they just assumed it was small Syrah. And so hence it got the name Petite Syrah, but as you know, and anybody who lives in Sassoon or has visited Suisun Valley knows, Petite Syrah, there's nothing petite about it. It's such a big wine. It's such a beautiful wine, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of, the name doesn't give it credit.
No. And then the other thing is Syrah or Shiraz, right? Syrah, we spell it Syrah, right?
Yep.
And we spell Petite Syrah differently, right? Petite Syrah is Sirah.
Okay.
So little difference. So when you're looking at something, that spelling might help you if you're if you're looking at a label and trying to figure it out. So I tell you, you had given the size, but also there are only 12 wineries in this AVA.
It's tiny, but you know what? It's when you go there, and I know you have visited, I've visited quite a few times now, it feels like Napa or Sonoma would have been back in the 60s or 70s. The owners tend to be the ones working in the tasting room. You go and, they just open up the place for you. I mean, these are true farmers, and, they have put all of their passion into their wine, and they want to share it with you. It's incredible.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think it's time to drink.
I couldn't agree more. So looking at our bottle number 3 is the Brink Vineyards 2016 Estate Grown Petite Syrah. And yeah, let's give it a swirl.
And these babies actually made it through security check. I don't know how they did, but...
Well, I'm not going to alert the TSA.
Thank you, Fresno TSA.
Right. So, Brink's a really cool winery. As you had mentioned before, let's cheers.
Plancha.
Steve Brink actually started the winery, but he was farming since 1982, so about the same time that Sassoon actually got the AVA. But he was farming fruit trees, so cherries, apricots, prunes. You're going to hear a lot about that from some of these other families that have been farming. He also was farming one of my favorites, heirloom tomatoes.
Yes, and I love that he calls his vines harem. The vines are his harem.
Yep. Well, did you hear that his maternal grandma, or read that his maternal grandma actually was in the slammer back in Prohibition for actually selling wine to the wrong person?
Oh, she got busted.
Yep. So I mean, there's been wine since grandma.
That is
and
awesome.
Even his grandfather was actually a vineyard master and a winemaker up in the Italian Alps.
Wow.
So I mean, it's been in his veins to be a winemaker.
Absolutely. And they're holding true to tradition. If you go to visit them, they have their tasting room. They have like this metal barn there.
Right.
But it's actually, there's remnants of the 100-year-old red barn, redwood barn that's there. So, they're moving forward with the future and knowing what is growing fantastic in their AVA and in their soils, but they're holding true to tradition. And I love that. And now you got to tell, if we go there, when we go there, I hope they have a picture of her with the number.
Oh, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. I have visited Salinas, but I have not actually been next door to the Red Barn, so I need to go over there. And hopefully, if Lisa is watching right now, she has a photo of great grandma holding that sign, because that would be incredible.
Turn right, turn left, because that would be the most awesome thing. And you've got that other label that is that bulk wine label that's got some, on it. This would be true, perfect label.
100%. So, I mean, right now they're forming 60 acres of vines, and I think they do a wide variety from like Pinot Noir all the way through Cabernet Sauvignon. They also own a lot of walnuts as well, and still some fruit. And then, like I said, it's such a family that has just been passed down that wine tradition. So even his daughter Lisa and her husband Cliff, Howard, they actually own a winery as well.
I do, and that is Salinas, and I have to raise a glass to them tonight because I love, love, love their white Pinot.
Boom.
Oh, boom! Like
I might have a glass a little later.
Like I queued that up for you perfectly, and I didn't even know you were going to have that.
Exactly. Hopefully, some of our followers, had time to get some of these bottles so they can taste along with us. If you do, again, we are on the 10 Brink Vineyards 2016. So if you have it in your glass, swirl along, taste, and let us know what's going on.
What is coming out of here, I need a little blue ghost blueberry coming out because this is blueberry in like explosion.
Yep.
It is blueberry.
It's blueberry. I'm getting hints of like boysenberry. It's plum. Just beautiful. It's packed with fruit. Just packed with fruit.
When you talk about the level of how much aromas there are, and it's light, medium, pronounced. This is
pronounced. It's jumping from the glass.
Yes, this is hear me now.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
That's
wow.
Yeah, jinx with that. All of that fruit still very present on the palate. Has such great weight to it. It's a 2016 and it's still so fresh. It
is fresh is the perfect word for it. The tannin structure, it's there. There's tannin there. Definitely something you want to pair with a food, to just scream out, that the blueberry, the plum. It's fantastic, and the finish is out of it. It's going and going.
Still going. It's peppery, which is one of those signs of Petite Syrah. I'm actually having a peppercorn steak tonight, so
that is going.
I think all three of these glasses might just pair perfectly with that.
Right, and
absolutely.
Another thing about Steve and 10 Brink Vineyards is that there's 3 valleys to Sassoon. Right, we have the lower, the middle, and the upper valley, and Steve actually has vineyards in each of those 3 areas.
Right.
And I'm not 100% sure if each of those 3 vineyards went into this glass where his Petite Syrah is, but this is a complex wine. There's a lot of levels going on within this wine.
100%. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be, so if he's watching or if Lisa's watching, please correct me. I believe most of the Petite Syrah is coming from the Mid Valley, and Cab is coming from the Upper Valley, and that's because that, as I was talking about earlier, that wind that comes through from the San Pablo Bay, it makes it to about the Mid Valley, and not really the Upper Valley.
Oh, okay, perfect. And then we do not have the luxury of having a full bottle here, but if you
that would be trouble.
That it would be. But if you look at 10 Brink, there is in the logo there is a gold shovel, and again, I absolutely love that because it is saying above all and foremost, he is a farmer, and the saying of you can't make great wine out of crap fruit.
You can.
Right? You can make crap wine out of grapefruit, but you can't do it the other way around.
100%.
And that is what the shovel is, and I absolutely love that he pays homage to that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Should we move on to Sassoon Creek?
Sassoon Creek. All right. So we are up to number 4. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That is Sassoon Creek 2017 Estate Grown Petite Syrah. Just so you all know, they are sold out of the 2017, but they are on to the 2018, which I have tried. It's incredible. And so I would definitely suggest picking up a bottle or 5 or a case just so you have it.
And actually going back a little bit, I believe, again, not 100% sure, but 10 Brink might also be sold out of the wine we tasted, because if you go to their website,
Yeah.
they're bottling the 18 and it says coming soon.
Yeah.
So, but there's nothing wrong with placing that order and
Absolutely not.
having it.
You know, you are truly supporting small family wineries, which is a huge passion of mine, because I love being able to discover and hear those stories and really talk to those winemakers, talk to the family. And, you know, I actually had the opportunity to do that at Sassoon Creek just recently. I would say probably 2 weeks ago. I actually met Brian and Katie, the owners, because what were they doing? They were pouring in the tasting room.
Of course they were. Of course they were. And I will say, I have not had the pleasure of visiting Sassoon Creek yet. Okay. But I did a double take because it's Brian Babcock. And we have a Brian Babcock in the Santa Barbara area. And I was like, wait a second. And then I'm like, wait, he doesn't spell his name that way. And they so Brian is I and the other is Y. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But so Babcock, I don't know if you guys are related, but maybe you should have a little conversation.
Right. We do a blind tasting between the two Brians.
There you go. There you go.
Sounds like a plan. I mean, so the cool thing about, you know, Brian and his family, they've been farming, you know, he's a fourth generation farmer. They, just like Ten Brink, started with cherries and prunes and pears. So, you know, these were fruit vineyards that then got converted over to vines. And they've owned the farm for 35 years. So they've been farming for quite a while.
And he's a UC Davis graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cheers out to UC Davis. And they actually grow 7 different varieties on their vineyards. And Sassoon Creek is in here, and he's writing, "I'm the I, not the Y." All right.
He's definitely the I in Brian. Right. And yet, so I was, like I said, I was just there, and they make a rosé from Charbonneau, or ooh, I am just used to calling it Bonarda, being down in Argentina. But it's crazy. You don't see Charbonneau used at all. And then it's a rosé of Charbonneau. It was quite lovely. Wow. Perfect for a summer day, especially out there in the Suisun Valley. It can get a little warm.
Yeah. You know what? I absolutely love when wineries do something just funky out there. Like,
right?
Oh, hey, this is awesome. We're going to be the only people who do this. And I'm sure they kick ass at it. I'm sure. Yeah. Because if it's anything, if this is any indication of what the rest of their wines taste like, this is
they're incredible.
Yeah, this is incredible. So Brian with an I. Fourth generation, you said.
Oh, go ahead. I'm getting a lot more plum on this one, and chocolate. Like a lot of cocoa, some black cherry.
Yeah, I get spice. And it's kind of like a spiced nut, you know, like we get them in Fresno, those almonds that have that spice stuff on it.
Yeah.
You know, like a trail mix type thing.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. But loaded, just, you know, I'm getting, like I said, lots of black fruit, and it's, you know, just so everybody knows, when I said that Petite Syrah is not petite, it is not. It's usually high in alcohol, high in tannin, medium minus acidity, but so far none of these and none of the wines we've actually tried have that alcohol burn. They're all pretty high in alcohol, but they are so finessed, so silky, that, you know, you would never know that the alcohol is at 15.7 or above.
Right, and that's a true sign of a great winemaker, because Petite Syrah can be a difficult grape to tame, you know, to keep down. And I think that's the thing about these wineries in this AVA who have embraced Petite Syrah as their grape. they really know this grape inside and out and know what's the, nothing is perfect in this world, right? So they
Yep.
know they know the good, they know the bad, but they know how to harvest it to create a balanced, perfectly balanced wine.
Yeah.
Because you can have a wine that's low in alcohol and burn.
100%.
Right? And here's a wine that is higher in alcohol and doesn't taste like that because the acidity is in balance. It is completely dry, but it's got this wine, I think, is one of the ones where people would say it's sweet, and then I tell them pinch your nose and taste it again, and you'll realize it's not sweet. That sweet is the fruit.
It's the fruit.
Yeah.
On the finish, I'm getting a little bit more spice, like you were talking about on the nose, but I'm getting more like purple flower again.
Yes. And where the tannins in here are a little bit more delicate. They're
so soft, just very ripe, just soft tannin, but structured. I mean, it just through from the attack all the way through the finish. It's just so nicely structured.
So what would you recommend? Because I always get asked, if I lie this down, when should I be drinking this? So if we're talking about these wines here, what would you recommend in terms of, I think these definitely can lie down. You can drink them now and be very, very happy.
Sure.
They are stellar. But these wines can also lie down and sleep. What would you recommend?
For Petite Syrah, similar to some other varieties that are grown and made into to wine, 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be wrong with that.
But we just had a 2016 that has a lot more life on it, and it's at year 5 right now.
Right. Yeah.
So, I think in general, I would say 5 to 7 years. But when you have great producers like we're tasting right now from the Suisun Valley, you're going to get a little bit more life out of them.
Right. And the acidity in here is going to hold up, and that's what's going to allow it to lay down and sleep. And
agreed. I would say
it's just a reason to buy a case.
100%. I can't argue with you on that. And like I said, the acidity in general is, medium minus, but I would say that these are at least medium. So, and I don't know if that's kind of from the diurnal shift and from that cooling off effect of the San Pablo Bay, but these are still really lively in terms of acidity. Yeah.
Honestly, it's so balanced. I really, really love this one. This is going to my little thing is going to be empty very soon.
See, you're so good. You poured just a little bit. I poured all 3, so I will have 3 glasses of wine.
Remember where I am. I've only got my one little glass here.
That's right, and it's like past 9 p.m. there, so fair enough. But I would say, if anybody's in Sassoon Valley, visit Sassoon Creek. Their hats sell out really quickly, as do their wines, because they're amazing. But again, if you want to meet the owners of a winery, they're there pouring. They are there introducing you to their wines, talking about their family, and it's such a great experience.
And they are open on weekends from 12 to 5. Sassoon Creek Winery is open from 12 to 5. So they do take reservations, but they also are doing walk-ins. So go in and hey guys, Brian, can you please hold a hat for me?
Brian with an I. Go see Brian and his wonderful wife, Katie.
And Katie. Hi, Katie. Hold a hat for me, because when I get up to see Nick and we get to come see you, I want one. All right. Shall we do number 5?
I think we shall. So number 5. So this is the Wooden Valley Winery, 2018 Lanza Family Petite Syrah. So now we've done a 16, 17, and 18. So kind of cool comparison of vintages.
An AVA vertical.
Absolutely.
And
Wow.
this is very interesting too, because they have multiple labels. So,
They do.
it's Woodin Valley, there's Lanza, um, uh, I didn't write
They
down
have like the Lanza Italian
yes.
label. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this, again, a family of farmers, I'm talking 85 years. 85 years of making wine, started by Mario and his wife Lena Lanza. So 3 generations of farming. So their son Richard, they call him Chick.
Yes.
Not sure why. I really kind of want to know the story
I want to
behind
know I wanted
his
to know why
nickname.
too.
But Chip took over the business, so him and his wife still are part of the business, and now their sons actually are kind of running it.
Right. And this is it. This winery is like the original love story. So they met in Oakland, right?
Yep.
But both of their families actually came from the same small town in Italy, Silvano de Orba. So like they didn't meet there. Their
Nope.
families didn't know each other there, but they come to Oakland and love is in the air.
Right.
So it's awesome. It's awesome. So,
Now, if you visited their site, I mean, as a marketer, I could kind of spend a lot of time on their site because it's all about the family. You see lots of photos of family. They actually talk about how they still gather with their friends and, all their family gets together around the table. Food and wine is such a big part of their daily life. And I mean, that's so Italian, but it shows a passion for, what they're doing and incorporating not just themselves, but the community.
Yeah. And they're also in that 4th generation. So again, Sassoon Valley just has so much tradition going on. 85 years, they're still going and making exceptional wine. And, I'm sure there might be a few prohibition stories from Woodin Valley Wine.
No, I'm definitely sure. Now, if you've ever visited Sassoon, which I know you have, one of the main roads going in off of the 80 is called Suisun Valley Road. But it was actually originally Woodin Valley. So that's kind of how they actually started. And then they've kept that tradition alive, even though they are now on Sassoon Valley Road.
Right. Oh, all right.
Right.
Oh, this is, okay. What are
There's
those? What are those chocolate thingies called? It's chocolate with the cherry in the center.
Like a cherry cordial.
Yes.
Also known as a chocolate-covered cherry. But yes, definitely getting that black cherry chocolate. I'm getting a little bit of vanilla, maybe from or coffee from some oak influence. So it's being really nicely framed from oak.
Not overpowering, just, nope, like you said, just a frame. Now, this wine is actually also has 25% cab in it. It is not. This is a 2018, like you said, and it is 75% Petite Syrah and 25% cab, and that adds a little dimension into it.
Yeah, there's a little bit more red fruit, like a little red currant or black currant, but I mean it's a little brighter in terms of the fruit that is there. I mean it's younger, but yeah, I'm going more red fruit mixed with the black fruit.
Right, absolutely. I just am seeing that very cherry cordial, that's what comes out to me first.
Yeah, I would agree.
On the palate, it's a full bodied, but it's a little softer on that mid palate.
Yeah, agreed.
Cab.
I'm liking the tannins. The tannins are definitely there. It's still a lot of structure, but I see what you mean about just a kind of a little lighter on the mid palate.
Right. Yep. Just right on the mid palate.
I mean, we have had 5 different wines from Sassoon Valley, 5 different Petite Syrahs, and I can honestly say I have not been disappointed. I have been these are incredible wines. And this is, why people have not discovered Suisun Valley so far is beyond me.
I don't know. And I'm glad to see that they're getting out there more. I'm seeing their name more come up on Instagram. I'm seeing, so people are starting to, but they definitely need to do it a bit more. They need to, they're not going to be disappointed. And honestly, with the size of it, you take your day away from Napa and and experience something different. Experience what, again, when you're in Napa, you're not going to be talking to those winemakers. You're not going to be talking to farmers, right? You're going to be talking to the people who are in the tasting room. Here, you're going to get the story from the horse's mouth. They're going to be there. They're the ones who are going to do it. And you're going to hear their passion. And because when you taste these wines, you can taste the passion. You can taste, because they're all quality wines. And if people don't have passion, it's not that consistency of quality in that wine.
And I can say, as a marketer within the Napa Valley, you are 100% correct. One of the things that I absolutely love about being able to just go out to the Sassoon Valley is meeting those farmers, meeting those winemakers, meeting the families, whether, that's Lisa or Brian and Katie or Steve, or any of the Lanza family. They're there pouring their wines. They're there sharing their stories, talking about the tradition, and really just, sharing passion. And there's passion, obviously, in other wine regions, but Sassoon has, been recognized by, TTB and AVAs from 1982. We're in 2021, just now discovering these wines. It's a treasure trove of just incredible stories and wine, especially Petite Syrah.
And think about all these wine regions where you go back to now, and these wines are so expensive today. Right. And you think to yourself, gosh, if I only bought those wines when I first discovered this AVA, that can be you now.
Right? Stock up.
Right?
Stock up. Buy cases. I'm telling you, for the price of these wines, the quality just super exceeds what you're going to get. It's going to blow your mind how great these wines are for the price.
Right. You can be that person who said, I know Sassoon before it was Sassoon.
Right. Exactly. Just 2 years ago when I was driving through, I called my parents and I was like, oh, I'm in Suisun.
Yeah.
They're like, 2 years ago, I didn't really know Suisun Valley. And then, our wonderful friends, Amber and David, introduced us to it. And I'm so glad they did. Because I am, if I could go out to Sassoon every weekend, I probably would.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get my butt in gear and get up north to come visit you. And,
please.
Brian and Katie said they're holding a hat for me.
They're holding a hat for you.
They're holding a hat for me. So I've got to get my butt up there. And I would love for us to do another live tasting together there.
While we're there. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. How fun would that be? How fun,
That would be incredible. I definitely think we should get some more people involved and see if any of our followers can join us and just, really kind of make it a day and explore. As you said, exploring the wine glass. Let's discover more of the Suisun Valley. Again, such a small valley, 12 wineries, but 12 wineries that are making incredible wine.
And we got to taste 5 here, and technically 6 because we both are. Sassoon Creek says they're volunteering their tasting room. All right.
Love it.
Because we both have also tasted Salinas.
Right.
And so these 12 wineries, we're tasting 5, and when you're 5 for 5, and there's 12, you gotta.
Exactly.
You have to go.
And since Salinas just joined, we were just talking about you guys and this incredible wine as well. Next time we are going live inside the vineyards, inside the tasting rooms. So, Lisa, just be prepared for us.
Yes, be prepared. Be very prepared. But so thank you everybody who has joined in and who is still with us. And honestly, thank you to the Sassoon Valley for
100%.
sending us these samples and for giving us an introduction to this amazing AVA that, you know, and that's what I put in my IG post is when you have an AVA that has a sense of humor and can make some incredible wines, it's a win-win. You know?
Definitely.
So I am all for, and we will definitely get up there and
I'm going to take people before you get here. So like my friend Maddie and Ben just joined. I know we're just wrapping up, but I'm taking them to the Suisun Valley, and Ben's a winemaker. I'm going to blow his mind with what they're doing out there.
Yes, and then we will go, and I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for
Thank
joining.
you again.
Nick, it was awesome to see your face.
Always a pleasure, Lori. Slancha.
Slancha, my friend. Slancha. And thank you again to the Sassoon Valley. Thank you to Camus, Sassoon, Mangles, Brink, Sassoon
Creek, and Woodland Valley Winery.
Thank you to you all. And we will do another live one. Live from the vineyards. Live from the vineyards. And Lisa, thank you for joining us. We absolutely love your wine also.
Thanks, guys. We'll be in touch soon.
Slancha.
Bye.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wineglass. Thanks for listening. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wineglass. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoytbud. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find me more easily. And most importantly, tell your wine-loving friends, because if you like the podcast, they will too. Music is Wine by Kevens. Until next week, Slancha.